so the question is, how do I assess the value, I'm going to assume, of a single tenant building, even though that one may be adjacent, but I'm hoping it's deeded separately, so you can buy it even though it's adjacent to another one from the picture we saw. How do you assess the value? You know, from the joint venture, we have a formula for that. I don't want to disclose the formula to everybody because I don't want to go through the calculations, etc. That's kind of private for the joint venture people. But suffice it to say that whatever deferred maintenance on a building does not matter too much to me. Why? Because once we put it under contract and we start smiling and dialing to the national tenants, all I need is one national tenant to come in and say, I'm interested in this, but whoa, I need 150,000. I need 200,000 to retrofit the kitchen and this. And based on what they're asking, I'm gonna say, we got the property under contract, let's say at 600,000. They need 200,000. That's like a lot of money on the 600 purchase. But at 800,000, that tenant is willing to come in. When I give him 200, I'm really advancing some money for their work, but it's actually going to increase in value because when that tenant signs for 10, 15 years, because then I can tell them, I'll give you 200, but sign for 15 years. And they're gonna say, good, let's have just 3% escalation because it is inflation. We don't want to pay more than 3. So now we negotiate the letter of intent to lease, and I will get them committed for a whole year, and we'll work the formula, and the building will be worth $1.4 million, $1.6 million. And if it's not going to be worth that much more because I'm spending so much, I walk away. I don't get so entangled into I need to change the roof, I need the new floor and all this. I just leased to Invicta watches, and they said, we like the floor the way it is, don't change it. I had just put new AC units. They said, we love it. We want to sign as soon as possible. We signed. It was done. I thought they're gonna ask for new floors and then maybe, but we painted, put new AC units. They still had the plastic things and they said, we love it, we love it. We don't need a new floor. We will seal the skylight, and we just want to sign and start getting the permit. So don't worry too much. Just get the building under contract. Have the tenants tell you what they want. And if you're doing a joint venture with me, let me put that deferred maintenance money. Let me give them the money and they can do it. Okay.
Cherif, can I ask a question?
Yes, please, Todd.
So when you said 3% escalation, were you doing that per annum, or
yes,
you doing in 5-year? What was it, a 5-year? Oh no, it was a 20-year contract with 3%.
Yes.
Okay, got it. I was thinking in 5-year increments, but you 3% escalation, 20 years
per year.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And to your point, Todd, quite a few tenants say, well, let me just do it like Burberry. When I rented Burberry, they said, our policy is we don't do yearly, we'll do it on the 6th year, but we'll go up 10%. So I said, well, our policy is if it's gonna be 5 years, it's gonna be at least 12%. So she said, well, okay, we'll work it. Who is our policy? I'm sitting in my office by myself, but they're Burberry, 110-year-old big company. They have a big policy. I knew I wasn't gonna shake them down for a 3% per year. So I said, let's do at least 12%. And we started at such a high lease anyway, and it was a 15-year lease. So it was very good. Thanks for the question.
What you say now, the last lease that I signed, which I think was about 18 months ago, it was at 2.5 per year escalation on a 10-year with 2 5s, or 10-year and a 10. I forgot. I like you, too many leases.
But it's good because once you get it yearly, it's just a beautiful thing. Banks love it.
Yeah.
When you get a loan, you feel the difference. It's just a wonderful thing. I love these.
Now, you make one mistake. I have a 6% sales percentage on it. They wanted to only do 750. I got them down to 700 as a threshold. But I should have made an escalation for the percentage rent, shouldn't I have? I mean, I never heard of it, but I didn't see it in any of the leases I read. Not that I read the leases out there, but that's why I'm bringing it up.
Escalation on percentage rent is not needed, Todd, in my opinion, because anyway, they're doing everything to increase their gross sales. So that benefits you if you're getting a percentage of the gross sale, because all their bonuses and calculations for their team in those offices is based on revenue year over year.
Right, and I knew inflation was happening, so the 6% is going to increase over time with the inflation plus the 2.5. Muy bueno.
But that's beautiful because you want a win-win. You want them to feel that they got something from you. You only look for a win-kill when the tenant says, I need out of the lease, I know I have 5 years left. That's when I have no mercy. There is no win-win. You want out, it's a win-kill. I want to massacre them, especially if they're publicly traded.
So do you have any percentage leases?
I do, but not that often. Usually when I've had the building for 10 years and this tenant left and the new one coming, I negotiate a base income and then a percentage from gross sales. Like I have it right now with Guess Jeans. They pay me 10% of gross sales over a certain number. But that's the way I attracted them, and they came in, remodeled the store, and they've been with me for a long time.
I'm telling you the truth every year.
Well, they're okay.
I know there's a clause in there to do an audit, but if you do the audit and you're wrong, you got to pay their costs. If you do the audit and you're right, then they have to pay.
Yes, they're publicly traded, and they have to report the right numbers because they pay bonuses to the staff based on the revenue of the store. So what they give the store is what they have to give me. Otherwise, the managers there will revolt, and I will know. But to your point, there are some other companies that are not that big, and I don't want to get entangled into their calculations because people lie.
Yeah, and not only that, they could switch the sales to another store, and
exactly,
sales is going down every year.
That's why I try to avoid percentage of sales,
I do too,
and because I don't want to have a lot of doubt.
They gave
I want
it
certainty.
higher rent, and I thought, I calculated and I played with it. I said, I get the place rented. I'm under a year. How much do you need it to get? You get this much now, but you won't make it up if you wait too long.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.